Supercommunicators: How to Unlock the Secret Language of Connection by Charles Duhigg. Key takeaways. Number 1. Understanding the 3 types of conversations. There are practical, decision-making conversations that focus on what's this really about. There are emotional conversations, which ask how do we feel, and there are social conversations that explore who are we. Conversation categories. Every meaningful dialogue falls into one of these 3 categories, often shifting between them as the discussion unfolds. The what's this really about? Conversations deal with practical matters and decision-making. They involve analyzing plans, evaluating choices, and determining goals. How do we feel? Conversations focus on emotions, beliefs, and values. They allow for vulnerability and deeper connections. Who are we? Conversations explore social identities, relationships, and how we fit into various groups. Recognizing the type. Understanding which type of conversation you're engaged in is crucial for effective communication. It helps you align your communication style with your partner's and ensures you're addressing the right aspects of the discussion. For instance, offering practical solutions in an emotional conversation might be perceived as dismissive, while being overly emotional in a decision-making conversation could be seen as unfocused. Number 2, the matching principle: aligning communication styles. Effective communication requires recognizing what kind of conversation is occurring and then matching each other, mirroring and adapting. The matching principle suggests that we should adjust our communication style to match our conversation partners. This doesn't mean simply mimicking their words or tone, but rather aligning with their emotional state, energy level, and conversational goals. When we match our partner's style, we create a sense of rapport and understanding, making the conversation more productive and satisfying for both parties. Practical application. To apply the matching principle, observe your partner's tone, pace, and energy level. Pay attention to the type of language they use, emotional, analytical, etc. Adjust your own communication style accordingly. Be prepared to shift your approach as the conversation evolves. This principle is particularly useful in professional settings, negotiations, and conflict resolution, where building rapport and mutual understanding is crucial. Number 3, the power of asking deep questions. If you want to connect with someone, ask them what they are feeling and then reveal your own emotions. Fostering vulnerability. Deep questions go beyond surface-level small talk and invite people to share their beliefs, values, and experiences. These questions create opportunities for vulnerability, which is key to building genuine connections. By asking about someone's feelings, dreams, or challenges, we signal that we're interested in understanding them on a deeper level. Examples and benefits. Some effective deep questions include: what's been the most challenging part of your journey? How has that experience shaped your worldview? What do you value most in your relationships? Benefits of asking deep questions: builds trust and intimacy, encourages self-reflection, leads to more meaningful and memorable conversations, helps overcome stereotypes and preconceptions. Remember to reciprocate by sharing your own thoughts and feelings, creating a balanced exchange of vulnerability. Number 4, listening beyond words, recognizing nonverbal cues. To hear what a person is saying, we also need to pay attention to their non-linguistic emotional expressions, the sounds they make, their gestures, tone of voice and cadence, how they hold their bodies, and their expressions. Nonverbal communication. A significant portion of our communication occurs through nonverbal cues. These include facial expressions, body language, tone of voice, and even silence. By paying attention to these cues, we can gain a more complete understanding of what someone is truly saying, even when their words might suggest otherwise. Key elements to observe: facial expressions, smiles, frowns, raised eyebrows, body posture, open or closed, leaning in or away, Gestures, hand movements, nodding, shrugging. Tone of voice, pitch, volume, pace, eye contact or lack thereof. Physical distance. By honing our ability to read these nonverbal signals, we can become more empathetic listeners and more effective communicators. This skill is particularly valuable in cross-cultural communication, where verbal language might be a barrier. Number 5, navigating conflicts through emotional intelligence. To communicate with someone, we must connect with them. When we absorb what someone is saying and they comprehend what we say, it's because our brains have, to some degree, aligned. Emotional synchronization. During conflicts, it's easy to focus solely on winning an argument or proving a point. However, true resolution often comes from emotional alignment. This involves recognizing and acknowledging the emotions underlying the conflict, both in ourselves and in others. By doing so, we can create a foundation for mutual understanding and collaborative problem solving. Strategies for emotional alignment. Practice active listening, focusing on the emotions behind the words. Use I statements to express your own feelings without blame. Acknowledge the other person's perspective, even if you disagree. Look for common ground and shared goals. Take breaks when emotions run high to prevent escalation. Use techniques like looping for understanding to ensure clear communication. By approaching conflicts with emotional intelligence, we can transform them from adversarial encounters into opportunities for growth and stronger relationships. Number 6, the impact of social identities on communication. Our social identities exert such a powerful influence on what we say, how we hear, and what we think, even when we don't want them to. Identity influence. Our social identities, including race, gender, age, profession, and cultural background, significantly shape our communication styles and perceptions. These identities can create both connections and barriers in conversations, influencing how we interpret messages and how others perceive us. Key considerations. Be aware of your own social identities and how they might affect your communication. Recognize that others may have different experiences and perspectives based on their identities. Avoid making assumptions based on stereotypes or generalizations. Practice cultural humility and be open to learning about different viewpoints. Use inclusive language that respects diverse identities. When discussing sensitive topics, acknowledge the role that social identities may play in shaping opinions and experiences. By understanding the impact of social identities, we can communicate more effectively across diverse groups and build more inclusive environments. Number 7, creating safe spaces for difficult conversations. The who are we conversation may be hard, but it is also vital. Fostering openness. Difficult conversations, particularly those involving identity, privilege, or controversial topics, require a safe and supportive environment. Creating this space involves establishing clear guidelines, promoting mutual respect, and encouraging open-mindedness. When people feel safe to express themselves without fear of judgment or retaliation, more honest and productive dialogues can occur. Key elements of safe spaces. Establish ground rules for respectful communication. Encourage active listening and empathy. Acknowledge that discomfort is a natural part of growth. Allow for anonymity or confidentiality when appropriate. Provide opportunities for all voices to be heard. Offer resources for further learning and support. By creating safe spaces for difficult conversations, we can address important issues, build understanding across differences, and foster personal and collective growth. This approach is especially crucial in workplaces, educational settings, and community organizations where diverse perspectives need to coexist and collaborate.